So how are you, mate?
I'm okay. I'm all right. People keep asking me that, and a lot of people have sent me messages. Just checking in on me, see how I am. But I'm okay. I'm feeling okay. Um, Good to be home. Good to be with Christine and the kids. Good to not really have to think about boxing anymore. Um, and what people close to me, you knew, and my family and other people close to me knew that win, lose or draw, I was retiring. From after the Jamel Herrings fight. So the plan was to win, obviously, and then retire, go out in a big win, 3-weight world champion. What a fantastic ending that would have been. But so it's not as if I just lost the fight and I'm now coming to terms with retirement, because I was going to do it anyway. I didn't get the result I wanted, but yeah, just is what it is.
Yeah. I just feel like it would have been nice for you to have at least bowed out to a crowd. You know, when you're doing your speech, it was obviously very emotional and very hard to
Yeah.
watch. But I was thinking you just might have had a bit more closure if you'd have had, a few thousand
Listen,
Irish, you know.
I suppose it would have, but there's nothing we can really do about it and under current circumstances. And I was lucky to get a couple of fights in during the pandemic and get paid as a boxer at my job. It's what I do. So a lot of people aren't having the privilege of being able to work for a living as boxers because there's no fights. So I've been very lucky, and credit to MTK and Top Rank and Queensbury and everybody involved and get me this fight. Would have loved to have won it, and I had a brilliant camp. I sparred brilliantly. All my sparring partners were confident that I was going to win this fight. But there's a big difference between sparring and fighting, isn't there? You know, when you've got a head guard and bigger gloves and stuff on. And I just feel like I'm a reactive fighter. Like I'm someone, because of my stature and I'm short, I need to be able to evade shots and get close to them and get out of range. And I think my timing and my reactions had slowed down, and that's the difference at the very high end of sport. And not to give, don't want to be disrespectful to Jamel Herrings. He fought the perfect fight. It was a very good performance from him. But I don't think he had a particularly fast jab or anything. I just couldn't get out of the road of it. And I think that's when it's time to get out. I spoke to someone as well. I was speaking to someone about the fight. I have no recollection at all of getting knocked down the second time. None whatsoever. And it's a bit worrying, that, isn't it? Someone was talking about that uppercut that was landed, and you went down pretty heavy. I was like, I thought I just got stopped on my feet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I had that conversation, didn't we? And I was amazed that you got up, if I'm honest, because you kind of fell back in slow motion. You'll see it. I'm guessing you haven't watched it back then.
No, it'll take me a while to watch it. I don't think I'll maybe never will watch it, but yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah. I just want, we'll go back. We'll come on to that in a second. I wonder whether, you had some very good spars with Dil Magani, and I mean, I saw you spar, so I know what you're saying is true, because I thought the same thing. You didn't look like you lost a step at all. He was aggressive. He was big. He was southpaw. Just got the impression with Herring, he wasn't taking the bait anywhere near as easily as you maybe needed him to. Like you're trying to set those traps and trigger him, but he never really fell over his front foot. Never really gave you many openings to counter him.
No, it was a good performance. Like from Herring, when he won the first couple of rounds, and then I think it might have been, was it the fourth maybe I was winning, or the third? I'm not sure, but it was a round where he had the bad cut, and I had a good round and I won the round, and I started to just think, right, momentum's going to go in my favor now. This is a bad cut. And just as I'm thinking that, he puts me on my backside. And it's like, oh, fuck's sake, But yeah, it was a nasty cut. I have to give Jamel a lot of credit for how he dealt with it, because it was the white of his eye, it was red with blood. Like I don't know how I could see out it. It was literally right in his eyeball, the blood. So, but he kept composed and done a number on me. And credit to him and his team.
It was the first knockdown was an unbelievable shot. There was no telling it whatsoever. Even when you watch it back and you know it's coming, there's no like, he doesn't change his feet position, he doesn't turn his hip. It literally just comes straight out. It's like the last thing you think he's going to do, and you walk straight onto it square. I didn't know.
Didn't see it.
How,
didn't see any of it. Didn't see it.
Yeah, you didn't look hugely hurt, just a little bit, maybe a little bit buzzed because it caught you unaware. But you had a good round apart from that, and then
I was probably winning that round, then I got knocked down, and it just, yeah, things like that can happen in boxing, and it changes the whole momentum of things and how things are going. And look, it is what it is. I had a go, and I'm glad that, because I was very close to retiring after the Warrington fight, and I'm glad. I kind of thought that I could win a world title still again, and the Warrington fight was a bad performance, which it was, but I'm glad that I had that go, and now I know that I just don't have it anymore. Rather than if I retired after Warrington, there's a chance you could have seen me making a comeback after 3 years, and I could have been even more of a disaster, thinking about what if. So I just know, and that's it. That's me done.
How difficult were the conversations with Christine after Warrington? Because obviously I know she wanted you out.
Yeah, she did want me out, and I never really said that much, because I always talked about people, I spoke to my family and I wanted to continue on, and I had their blessing and stuff. But Christine never really, she wanted me out probably before the Warrington fight, even, if I'm being honest. But she definitely wanted me out after the Warrington fight. She didn't want me to continue boxing. I had a few fights after Warrington. And yeah, I think she's happy that I'm retired now, to be honest. I think that she's already a bit concerned about how much I'm going to be around the house. But
pissing her off within 7 days of being home.
Yeah, but do you know what? I'm trying my best not to. I really am, and I know I think sometimes I'm probably not the easiest person to live with, in terms of, like, her standards are very high in terms of cleanliness. I'm a clean person as well, but I mean, like, she is fucking OCD with stuff. So I've been really on it. Like, I've been hanging around the dishwasher flat out, emptying it, putting stuff in, doing a bit of cooking, just making sure I'm trying my best,
It's going to take a little while to get into your new life routine, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just signed the kids up to a football team. Both of them. Carla starts tonight. Ross starts tomorrow. And I'm excited about that. That's a new little journey for me and the kids to go on, And we just seen Northern Ireland ladies there qualify for the Euros as part-timers, a lot of them. And maybe this could be the start of an amazing journey like that for Carla. Who knows? You know what I mean? That's me. She flipped me. I'm putting a lot of pressure on them. I was saying stuff like that, but I'm just excited about the future for the kids, really, and us all.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Christine has given up a lot to hold the fort and raise the kids at times solo when you've been out, providing for the family. But I know she's got ambitions of her own, because she's kind of put a lot on hold so that you could do what you're going to do. How is it you're going to support her going forwards, and what are her ambitions?
Well, I want her to be involved in every decision, whatever we do as a family, going forward. I'm very proud of the fan base and the loyal support that I've had, particularly from people from Northern Ireland, and I've had it from everywhere, really. Ireland, Northern Ireland, the UK, even as far as the States and stuff. People have supported me, but I want to give back, and I think we both do. Me and Christine want to give back a little bit to the people from here, particularly Northern Ireland. And we're seeing a lot of violence and trouble in the street at the minute, especially in working class areas. And I don't really know what shape or form it's going to be some sort of a foundation probably, but I want to do something to help my people and the people that I owe so much to. And Christine wants to be involved in that as well. Like she put her, again, like you said, put her career on hold. She done a degree, worked very hard to get a degree in criminology, criminal justice. So she's a very generous person. She likes to help people, and she can be a real force in whatever we want to do together, me and her. And I think we'll have opportunities.
Yeah. Have you had much time to sort of think about and reflect on your career? I know it's only been 10 days or whatever, but sort of look back and just thought about as a whole, like the highs and lows.
Yeah, no, not really. I suppose, I seen something there, someone saying something about, I've had a good career, a career that I should be proud of, and I am proud of, but it just didn't end the way I wanted to. But that happens. I'm not going to get too upset about it, and I'm already over it, and I think I'm over it. Well, because I knew I was going to retire anyway, but because of how nice people have been extremely nice, and some of the messages of support have been fantastic, and but I've reflected a wee bit, and I've seen someone say, Kevin Byrne from the Irish Sun, I think, said I beat more world champions or former world champions than any other fighter from the island of Ireland. That's something to be proud of. I'm a 2-weight world champion. I went out, I lost trying to become a 3-weight. That's something to be proud of. Ring Magazine, MBE, honorary doctorate.
Zoo Magazine, coolest man of the year.
I forgot that one. That's the big one. But I'm of course I'm proud of what I've done, and I've done more than I ever imagined I could have when I first turned professional.
Not an easy decision for Jamie Moore, although I think if you ever watch the fight back, you'll see it was the right one. I talked to him yesterday. He's still in isolation, by the way, isn't he, Jamie?
Mental. It's mental what's going on, and they're being treated like scumbags.
Yeah.
In the jail. It's mental what's going on. It really is.
I was talking to Jamie yesterday, and obviously the last thing he wants to ever do is throw in a towel, because he knows you would finish on your feet if you physically could. But I think he made almost the perfect decision, because you were badly hurt.
Everyone's saying it. Everyone's saying it, and I don't know, because I don't really. I'd have fought on. I'd have continued to fight on, and that's what fighters do, And I made a statement before and said that I would have to get dragged out of the ring. Literally, I'm not thinking about stopping at all. So it's important to have a trainer like Jimmy Moore, who, although he probably didn't want to make that decision, it seems to have been the right choice. And I saw him doing it when Tommy Coyle fought Chris Algieri in Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah.
Tommy was angry and upset, but it was absolutely the right decision. And Tommy now knows it was the right decision. So I obviously I can't remember much about it. I remember being on my feet, and I don't think it was in my head. I feel like I wasn't too out of it when the towel came in my head, but it seems that it was, because a lot of people are saying that it didn't look great. So, right decision, of course.
Yeah. What did you guys? I know it's quite emotional conversations in the changing room. Do you remember much about like the after stuff? Or
Yeah.
was it all days?
I apologize to people, and they were saying, we don't need to apologize, but I kind of got the team and my dad and Cooper McClure, my old amateur coach. I got them into my hotel room afterwards, and I just said a few words and thanked them all for everything they've done. I apologize that I couldn't win a world title with them. I think that, but this part of my career it's been the best part, even though the previous part of my career was the big wins, but this has definitely been the best part. And I say that because mentally I'm a much better person, and that's a win, really, isn't it? And I wish I had made the move with Jamie and Nigel long before it did. And no doubt, if I was with them in that part of my career, I'd have had the exact same outcome.
I suppose out of the bad often comes the good, and obviously what happened with the McGuigans happened and it's done now. But if it hadn't been for that occurring, you'd never have you may have met Jamie and Nige, but you'd never have lifelong friends in there like you do.
No,
today.
no, and I have lifelong friends in Jamie and Nigel and Tommy Coyle and Martin Murray and Akib Fiaz, his brother Assam, Fiaz, Chantel Cameron, who was with me previously when I was with the McGuigans, but I've got to know her more so now, being with Jamie and stuff. Jack Catterall, Stevie Ward, obviously, Big Conrad Cummings, who moved as well. You know, I feel like I've maybe missed a few out. Sean McGoldrick, and Turson, Kalakmit, new guy who just joined the gym.
What a knockout!
What a fighter he is. We watched it in the car on the way to my fight, and I remember just thinking, it was mad when we left the hotel. I was on BBC World News, and I was like, right, that's a sign. Getting in the car, Turson nearly takes your man's head off. I'm just full of confidence that it's all going to happen, and then it didn't.
Yeah. Did you? I know you obviously spoke to Jamel in the ring afterwards, and he was obviously gracious as he would be. Did you speak to him or see him in the sort of 24 hours after?
No, so I was in the airport literally. I was flying, so I thought at local time 1 a.m. I was on a plane at 7:30 a.m. So I went straight to the airport pretty much. I did see him in the hotel briefly, and we had a good chat. And I wished him well in the future, and wished him well in future fights. And very, very gracious. A really genuinely a nice man, and I do wish him well.
And a good fighter, you know, because that was his career best performance. Let's not forget, it wasn't your finest hour, but I have to say, having watched his last 4 or 5 fights, that's the best he's ever fought. So, you know,
yeah, you're looking at the Equendo fight and stuff. You know what I mean? That was a performance 10 times better than that. And yeah, fair play to him, because I think if it had been an Equendo performance, then I'd have won the fight. And I was expecting kind of that's him now, you know, but he done what he had to do, and absolutely credit to him and fair play to him.
Yeah. So looking towards your future then, what's the crack? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I had a few interesting. Well, I had one interesting call. Speaking with my agent Ben, who you know well. And there's been a few interesting things have come up. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to spend a bit of time really with Christine, the kids at the start, not have to do too much really for the foreseeable. And then when I start to get on top of everybody and annoy people, then I'll start doing other things.
I've got a spare room here, so if it gets a bit much, it's a box room, but you're only little, so
yeah, don't worry about it. Massive room to me.
Yeah, it'll blow up much.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what happens, and I feel like I'll have options.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the end of me.
Oh, say that again. I lost you. It's not going to be.
It's not going to be the end of me.
Okay. I mean, I imagine you've had some approaches from boxing broadcasters already, but this will be. You're also looking at some slightly more mainstream stuff, I imagine, as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've had there's been chats with different boxing broadcasters. Obviously, you know, punditry is something that I really enjoy doing, and I get decent feedback when I do it from people, and I always like to be really honest. And I think that in this day and age, you have a lot of people who like to say things that the person they're talking to wants to hear rather than speak the truth. And I like to be honest, and you know, some people like that, some people don't. But I'll always be honest, and I think that's something that people like with my punditry. So that could be an option in the future. And there's been other things kind of more mainstream as well that have there's potential there. So it's going to be good.
Okay, good stuff. And then without putting you on the spot, is there anybody you kind of want to say any sort of final thank yous to who helped you over the career? I know you did actually an amazing tribute to Billy McKee, even though you were in the midst of probably a big headache and floods of tears. But is anyone just looking back you want to just give a kind of nod to?
Well, yeah, I suppose everybody really who's helped me in some shape or form. And the problem is you try to name everybody, but you'll be here all day. And, you know, there's people like Billy McKee and Cooper McClure, obviously, who I want to thank. Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis as well. But there's been so many other people. There's people in the first part of my career, guys like Darryl Richards, my strength and conditioning coach, who a lot of people won't know of, but he was my S&C guy. I still keep in touch with him from time to time when I was with the McGuigans, and he's a really nice guy. Things like people like him, I have to thank. Steve Broughton, who has done great jobs with Joe Joyce, we've seen was involved a little bit. So many people, really. But the main one, really, for me, and I wanted to dedicate the fight and kind of the career. I wanted to speak about Billy, obviously, and thank him for everything he's done. And I was very, very emotional after the fight. And, I'm still very sad that he's no longer with us. But Christine has done so much, really, for me. And, me and the kids. And it's just she's an amazing person, really, really is. And I literally want to dedicate the rest of my life now to her and the kids, and have them as a priority, because for times, and this sounds harsh, but for a time, especially in the first part of my career, some of the decisions I made were wrong, and they weren't. Boxing was a priority, and it shouldn't have been. It should never have been. Your family should always come first, and I've learned that with Jamie and Nigel and everybody else in the gym, and they're so important to me, and I want us all to be happy, mate. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a lot of people, obviously, in the last few days about you, and somebody said to kind of have achieved everything you have money in the bank, get out with your health intact, and be 34 with the vast majority of your life ahead of you with so many options, is a position that not only a very, very small percentage of boxers find themselves in at your age, but very few percentage of people in the world find themselves in.
That's why I'm lucky. I had a similar conversation with Jamie Conlon, and he says pretty much word for word what you said, that I'm lucky in terms of what I achieved was beyond my wildest dreams. I own my own house. I've got a few quid. And I'm getting out with my faculties intact, I think, and opportunities and options. And not many people get that. If you're getting out of boxing with something, one of those things, you're doing well. So I understand that I'm in the very, 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 very small minority of people who are getting out of this hard sport with opportunity and with money and with health.
Well, congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much.
Last question. Do you think there might come a point where you sort of miss the gym environment and you would get the itch to do any work on the other side?
No.
Ropes.
No. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I like my time at home. I like spending time with Christine and the kids. I like seeing my kids growing up, and I like being there for them. Training for me was a part of the job. I enjoyed the environment and I enjoyed the camaraderie in the gym, but who wants to be killing themselves every day in the gym? I don't. My training regime from here on in will be maybe a couple of jogs every now and again, do a few weights, get dead hench. That's the next goal. I'm going to be an absolute beast.
So I hear.
See them arms, small midget arms.
And when you consider how fucking massive your head is as well. Yeah, that wicked. Well, I'm looking forward to going on the journey with you. We've got some good stuff planned. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
No, I'm looking for. I'm excited about the future, mate. And I don't know. Or just before you, I had another really interesting call about a potential, potential. I wouldn't say work, but it's something that's. It's the opportunities are endless. I think so. I'll tell you about it off screen.
Looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward to it. All right, Sam. Well, I'm glad to see you in good spirits and looking well. You've not got a mark on you either. Healing powers of Wolverine.
No, I heal pretty quickly. It's always been like a good trait of mine.
Your superpower. Yeah.
Bruises go away quick. Yeah.
That and mediocre singing. Yeah.
Mediocre singing. I was doing a bit of singing around the house just before this, and I'm very good at walking in Memphis. I think that's got to be my karaoke song.
All right, cool. Oh well, maybe we'll do that for Inside Fighting at some point. Get Dave on the old guitar, give you a bit. Give you something to lean back on if it goes to pot, eh?
Yeah.
All right, son. Well, take care, mate. Good to speak to you, and I'll catch up with you in a few days.
See you, mate.
Nice one, boss. See you soon.